Jones. Jeff, we've replaced the snow with a little bit of rain, and we have warmer weather out there today, by the way.
Yeah, we got to 50 today. 51, I think.
Did it really?
Here in Murfreesboro, yeah.
Well, most all the ice is gone, but cooler weather back on the way. And Jeff, it appears that in spite of all the snow, ice, rain, whatever weather we've had, schools around here have kind of limped through the district. The fact they don't have many district games to play, frankly, helps a lot. But I have heard a lot of gnashing of teeth that we're going to not be able to get this thing done.
No, I haven't either. I know, I think it was Siegel and Blackman tonight is our game, which and Riverdale and Laverne are playing tonight, I think. But it looks like we're going to get it all in, and we usually do. It's not unusual. Sometimes there's some inconvenience involved, but not much.
Just for a little bit of background, Jeff and I both coached at the high school level many, many moon ago. Jeff, I remember going to my first district meeting for basketball. It was in Gallatin, and I was a lowly Brave, to be sure. First year coach in Tennessee. All these cats around here. Jerry Vradenberg was in the group, and Jerry Joslin, and whatever. And I remember them saying that the TSSAA allows you to make your district tournament any way you want to do it. They don't care. Just send us 4 teams to the region, right?
Right.
Well, do you know what region District 7 and 8 in Williamson County have done in 4A? They've done without district tournament. They are not playing a district basketball tournament this year.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're aware of that?
Yes.
Which says, as long as you bring us 4 teams in whatever seating order you want to put them, you draw them out of a hat. This is something I've decried for years, especially with 4-team districts. Why in the world do you go through the process of playing a district tournament?
Money.
They've decided not to do it. And, of course, we've got a couple of districts here that are 4 teams. Barry Wortman is quoted as in the column. We're going to look at that and see. Is there money to be made in district tournament? I guess that's the big question. Apparently, either in Williamson County they don't or they don't care. What do you think?
I don't know. And I would think that would rotate, too. You wouldn't be sure whether you could have whether it be money, a rivalry game, somebody that was, or maybe was very even across all teams, in case you might probably want to play then. If you were the last guy, maybe you wouldn't. I don't know.
Is it a bold step? Is it something you look at and say, since one district has chosen to do it, one region has chosen to do it, now we have a little bit more license to go ahead and think about those things. And if the second one, then the third chip falls, the fourth chip falls, maybe they will continue to fall that way to the point that TSSAA itself will say, we'll just do away with district tournaments altogether.
I think that's true, and I believe that the district tournament days are likely numbered. I can't remember why. I think why you really want to play it if there was nothing particularly to prove. Blackman boys are I think, are probably the best boys team in that district.
Yes,
I would say they are. So if I were anybody else, I wouldn't want to play it. Now maybe he does. I don't know Barry's feelings on it.
Well, let's do a little history work here.
Okay.
How did we get into district tournament play to start with? Once upon a time, every team in every state, in the state of Tennessee, that played boys basketball played in a district, the same district. Las Casas, Central High School, Smyrna High School. Central would have been, 1,300 students. Las Casas would have been a couple hundred, maybe.
Yep.
But we didn't have any classification. Now we have 3 classes in. Well, first of all, let's go back. All public schools. If you're a private school, you played amongst them, so you had 1 district. Now we have 7. 4 in public schools, or Division 1, 3 in Division 2, which has spread the number of teams in districts to an all-time low. That's the history. So as that has changed, it has changed the meaning of what a district tournament is, I think.
Well, I can certainly remember I was a student at Central. And if the Tigers or the Lady Tigers played, maybe anyway, but if they played, we went to the game, which was played in the old Memorial Gymnasium at Middle Tennessee. But gosh, you could be playing. I can't remember everybody now, but there were a number of teams, not just 4 or 5. It was triple that. And Las Casas was in there, Rockvale was in there, Liberty of all people, two teams from Cannon County, 2 teams from Warren County, Lebanon, which of course was hated by everybody in Murfreesboro at least. It was just we just played and played and played and played. Frankly, it took a long time to eliminate people, and it was a great week. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Once upon a time, it was a great thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
There's no question about that.
I agree.
History has taken that. The re-leveling, I guess, is taking that away. The only way, in my mind now, it makes sense at all would be to say, okay, you have a district of 4 teams. We're going to play a district tournament, but you don't play each other during the season at all. We just we play and you play and you play, and then you come together in Oakland, Riverdale, and Blackman and Rockvale. Let's say those 4 teams come together and play a district tournament. But you're not played during the regular season. That's not going to work, is it?
No.
You need those games badly in your regular season.
Well, sure. Yeah, you got to have them. But first of all, that's where the real interest is, and that's where. And since that's true, I think that's where the money is, and that's okay. I'm all for all of that. I do think it's. Well, I would be if I had to vote, which I do not. I think I would be for eliminating the district tournament. I think I would be. But
I guess that's the question I'm going to ask me and you, and I'll answer first since I had the benefit of knowing what 5 years from now, will there be a district tournament being held here in Murfreesboro? I'm going to say no.
I'll say no as well.
Well, we shall see. They're playing one this year, though.
Yes, they are.
And that's going to matter. If Blackman wins the league, seeded number 1, here's the kicker here, Jeff. If they happen to get beat twice, double upset, they go to number 4. They still go to the region tournament with maybe being the favorite to win there, right?
Okay.
So you can lose twice in the district, right?
Right.
Once in the region.
Right.
Once at sub-state, and still win a state championship.
Well, it's possible.
So
that's right. You'd have to be in the finals of the region for that to happen.
But you could lose. Yes. You could lose 4 games in tournament play.
Yes.
And still end up being a state champion.
Yes.
And you can win all your games till the last game of the season in tournament play, like Riverdale did in 1979, and lose the game there and not be state champions, which is, I like the Indiana way of doing things. One and done. You go play, you get beat, you go home. You stay home.
I've heard a lot of people speak strongly for that. And on the other hand, when we left the gym, and I'm guessing here now, I'm just guessing, but after 1979 loss to Warren County in the state tournament, I believe if you interviewed the people as they left the gymnasium and asked them which team was best, most of them would have picked Riverdale. But not that night, not that game. They were not.
You don't have to be the best team all year long. You just have to be the best team once, right?
That's right.
That's why we call them upsets.
That's right, too.
Speaking of upsets, I don't know, or not upsets, Middle Tennessee men are now at 5-5. I made the bet with myself back in the day that I thought they would finish higher in the league standings than the women would be, given the fact that they have 3 freshman starters, a sophomore and a graduate student, and then first 2 off the bench are freshmen. Such a young ball club. But Jeff, that ball club's 8-2. Going on the road this week, if they're going to stay in the race to have a chance to win the championship outright, they're going to have to win twice on the road, which I don't know they will do. I hope they do. I'm going to pull for them, but Jeff, they are very good at sometimes, very inconsistent at others.
Well, they were very inconsistent in the Western game for sure. Matter of fact, it was we just looked tired and stale. And
talking about the guys.
Yes, and it just didn't work for us. I mean, I don't know what you thought. I saw you sitting over there with your very expensive seats in the center court while I'm over in a corner somewhere trying to find the floor. But anyway,
yeah, your hat in hand and looking for alms for the poor.
Anyway, I would say that it's going to be difficult to win. I don't know. It just seemed like something just wasn't clicking for the men on the other night. After about 4 minutes to go in the first half, we started to fall apart. Here you go.
You shoot 4 from 28 from the three-point line.
Okay.
And 12 for 22 or 3 from the free throw line?
Yeah.
How many times you going to win those ball games?
Well, none. or probably none.
All but. You out-rebound the team. You have fewer turnovers. You do all the right things. Jeff, they asked Rick Hensel this question the other day after the Western game, which they won. That team won by, 20 points or so, shot it very well. He said, you're just a lot smarter coach when teams shoot well than when they don't. And at the end of the day, you can do all the other things right, but if you don't put the ball in the hole, you don't score the ball, you just don't win many games with 61, 62, 63 points.
And, of course, the Lady Raiders jumped out to a lead and never looked back.
Never looked back.
I suspect you could have won by 40 if we really wanted to. But I was of course delighted to beat Western. Anytime we take a floor and beat Western, you've done something right. But I was of course disappointed with the men. I mean but that's young team and yeah.
Guys are at home on Thursday night. No, make it Wednesday night. I believe it's Wednesday. I had to look at my schedule to make sure. We'll check that during the break to make sure we got the schedule right. But this week, a midweek game against Florida International. They are 5-5 in the pack of Jeff. Liberty is 8, 9, or 10-0. They're going to win the league. They're by far the best. Did you see them play?
No, I did not.
They are really good.
Yeah, I heard that's true.
2 through 10 is a knife fight. I made a comment, and I think it's true. Middle could be anywhere from 2 to 10. Those teams right in there are just all clogged up together. Western, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee, Kennesaw State, Sam Houston, on and on and on. So. They need to win. Need to get something on the road after getting them on up at home on Saturday night.
Well, that would be nice to do that. I do think that the middle, if we could keep these players and continue to work the portal to our advantage, I think this team has got great potential. I do, but you just potential is
by no means am I giving up on them. But as I said, they can finish anywhere from 2 to 10. The Lady Raiders look like, Jeff, they're going to finish somewhere in the top 2 or 3, it appears, unless things just fall apart. And they're getting better, as they should. There's some talent on that ball club, Jeff. When they shoot the ball well, which they did Saturday, as you mentioned, they're really good.
Well, they had some streaks in there that, boy, they were downright dangerous. I mean, the Lady Raiders were. They've just come down, shoot, and score. And they go down the other end and play good defense.
Can you go on the road and get it done now? We'll find out. Rick Hensel said that about the ball club, and he's exactly right. He'll find out whether we've got a championship ball club or not this week. Let's take a break. Come back with more All Sports Talk right after this.
Lace up your best kicks for a night of impact benefiting First Shot. Join us for the annual Sneaker Ball, presented by Venture Express. Spend Sunday, April 26th with NFL Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP Marcus Allen. The event kicks off at 6 with a VIP meet and greet at 5. Reserve your table today. Call Coach Andy Herzer at 615-631-5312. We'll see you at the Sneaker Ball, benefiting First Shot on April 26th.
If someone asked, what's your more? Would you be surprised? Well, at First Bank, knowing your more is where we start. Whether it's seeing your kid's college graduation, seeing the world, or seeing the ocean from your patio, your more helps us see who you are. That's why First Bank offers you more time, more access to local lenders and leaders, more answers, and more products. So tell us, what's your more? First Bank. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
With over 80 years of service under our belt at Roscoe Brown, we can help ensure your home's HVAC unit keeps you warm and that your pipes don't burst. Through preventative checkups and repairs, we provide our customers with a worry-free winter. I guess you could say we've weathered a few winter wonderlands over the years. Turn to the experts. Turn to Roscoe Brown.
Roscoe Brown.
RoscoeBrown.com.
When illness or injury turns everyday moments into uphill battles, there are medical professionals who step in with skill, compassion, and unwavering dedication. My name is Joey P. I'm CEO of Murfreesboro Medical Clinic, and we are proud to highlight this month's MMC Heart for Healing recipient.
We recognize Dr. Sean Horwitz, a surgeon at MMC, whose reputation is built on as much his heart as it is his hands. Dr. Horwitz makes every patient feel like his priority. Whether performing complex robotic surgery or providing life-changing breast care, he combines elite technical precision with a rare, compassionate touch that truly defines him. Dr. Sean Horwitz, our MMC Heart for Healing.
If a doctor, nurse, or medical professional has made a difference in your life, tell WGNS. Help us recognize the medical heroes in our community by nominating them for the MMC Heart for Healing Award, and help us recognize the medical heroes in our community.
We can get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance at State Farm. Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Deb Insel, and we're your one-stop shop for protecting your car and your stuff for a surprisingly great rate. So stop looking around. Team Insel is ready to help. Call 931-684-5274 for your surprisingly great auto and renter's rate today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, good afternoon. It is really heavy out here with that traffic volume, both north and southbound on 65 here at Armory in South Nashville as we check it out live. It's crawling over here on 40 east and west at Fessler's as well. They're wrapping up this wreck. It's been out here longer than we actually thought it would be on 24 eastbound at Haywood Lane. You got all that traffic pushing through Antioch, headed on out towards Murfreesboro. When you need dependable towing for your car or big truck here in Middle Tennessee, call STR Towing and Recovery. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's all sports talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, wgnsradio.com, and Big G TV.
Welcome back into All Sports Talk. Tim Tackett along with Jeff Jordan. Jeff brought to you by Fans Heating and Air, Lee Collin Financial Services, reminding you that high school basketball will follow All Sports Talk. Pregame at 5:45. 6 o'clock will be tip-off. Siegel at Blackman. Middle Tennessee at home tomorrow night. The men will host FIU. That will be pregame at 6 o'clock. And 6:30 will be the broadcast with Chip Walters and all the gang over there. And Murphy Center will be hopefully alive, and we need to win for sure. Jeff, I told you going on before the show that I found an article that I printed off of interest. No shock here. Let me read the headline. Unrestricted portal, a train wreck, and says it's sucking the life out of college sports. Have you heard terms like that before with other folks?
Well, I've heard a lot of criticism. I
Sure.
don't know if sucking the life out of college sports is accurate or not.
He makes a point in his article
Okay.
that the life out of college sports in some ways, but 13.5 million people watched the NCAA playoff championship game. We had Indiana versus Miami. More people watching. Seems like interest is up. People like you and I spend a lot of time on this radio station talking about college football and the problems it has. But the other side of the coin is, Jeff, it seems like the interest is awfully high.
Well, and I would agree with that. I think it is awfully high. I think maybe we can say that Indiana possibly added some interest to that game.
I think exactly. I agree with that.
If that had been UCLA or another Ohio State appearance, maybe not as much, but still, the portal is not doing us any good. I don't think, particularly. Maybe it's helping some teams somewhere if they get lucky. And okay.
Well, I have. Say me. I'm guilty of kind of being very critical of how that's gone. But then I asked the question to myself: when has there ever been purity in sports? I mean, think back to I think back to playing church league softball, when there was supposedly a rule that people were supposed to go to your church to play on the softball team, right?
Right.
How much that happened?
How much did it happen?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody did that. I don't know who they were, but
a lot of somebody did that. Junior pro basketball, supposed to be whatever. Sometimes it's money. Sometimes it's just bully people. 1919, you heard of the Black Sox scandal back then?
Right.
It was Joe Jackson. Jeff, we've always had folks willing to, I won't say bend the rules, but take advantage of weaknesses either in rules or people that are on the opposite side looking for that advantage to win. And I think that's kind of where we're at now. And money is almost always behind it. In this case, it is. If you got the gold, you got a chance to play for things like that. If you don't, you're in deep trouble.
When I umpired the church league along with Ray Hughes and Jan Stauffer and others, I remember one year the I guess the commissioner, I guess that's the right term, of a league or whatever, called me about a player who's you would know, and I'm not going to use his name at all.
Sure.
But he was on this roster for this team, a really good player, very good. And they were saying, others were saying that he did not play for that team. He had never played for them ever during the entire year. And they talked to this player, and he said, "Call me." Okay. Yeah. Now I knew the player. I knew who he was.
Right.
And they called me, and I said, "Yes, he played one game maybe, but I know one night he played." Well, that was all they needed was one night.
Yeah.
Well, truth was, and that was the truth. It was correct. I wouldn't have lied for him, and I didn't talk to him. But my point is that there was a rule, and they kept it. They enforced it. Now, we've got some other things going on now with this portal thing, and people just changing teams, seemingly, just willy-nilly. It's not, but seemingly it is.
There's one guy I can name the teams. Western Kentucky is one of them. Is now playing for his to play for his eighth school in 8 years. First of all, the 8 years is a problem, don't you think?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And we're at a point now that if I'm Boise State, which was one of the schools mentioned in here, trying to get a player eligible to play for that, getting that extra year for whatever extenuating circumstance, they're looking for a course that's got a Boise State judge. They got to graduate from Boise.
Okay, it's come to this, has it?
It mentioned several situations. A judge, after making his ruling, chose to bring the ruling back and recuse himself from the trial because he was a judge of the school who got the advantage of getting the player eligible, and got a lot of grief for that. Criticism justified, do you think?
Well, yeah, I think so.
But if you're a judge, you're not supposed to let that matter.
I agree. I agree with what's
Coach
supposed
Jordan?
to be. I agree what's supposed to be. But people are looking for an edge, and they found one. Well, at least they thought they did.
So, what do we do? What can we do? We can't. Many years ago, it was a student athlete. An athlete from Harvard played against an athlete from Yale. They were there to get an education, and they just happened to like sports, and they played, right?
Right.
Army and Navy football may be the closest thing to purity we've got. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yes.
But outside of that game, I can't think of one that I could say for sure that Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky wouldn't squeeze in a player that didn't pass the test on Friday. It maybe should have been ruled academically. Well, Jeff, when's the last time you heard of a guy being named academically ineligible?
Okay.
Either
in
you
college.
you didn't heard of it because he's too good for that to happen.
Right.
And if he's the 91st player on the roster, nobody cares, so we wouldn't know. We took away this business of being a student athlete a long, long time ago, don't you think?
Yes. I'm afraid you're right.
You got to go to class. You got to pass your test. You got to have X number of credits to come back and play next year. Jeff, how many players, nobody know, how many players are playing football, basketball, tiddlywinks, whatever at universities right now that never go to class because they don't have to. They don't have to be eligible next semester because they're going to be someplace else.
Yeah, they're going to go somewhere else.
And when they go someplace else, they don't check the records or say, well, you didn't pass last semester. We can't have you here in our university. You're going to taint the academic integrity of our university because you chose last year to flaunt the rules. Nobody does that, especially if you're a good player.
I had this happen in high school, and I was, I guess, an observer, but I knew who to ask. And we had a girl on the Riverdale team who will remain nameless. She's a fine player. I liked her very much. She's okay, no problem whatsoever. But her grades were not. No, they were not. And we had a big game the first day back or the second day back after the Christmas holidays. Mm-hmm. And the report cards hadn't come out yet. Okay, they were still a few days away. But we knew that it was over for her, all right?
She could play 2 games.
No.
before the report card came out. I'm just saying.
I was hoping that would be the case.
Okay.
And I asked Buddy Pate, I said, Buddy, when does this actually go into effect? Well, have we got to see it on a piece of paper? I said, when? And he said, if you know it right now, she's done as of today. And so she was done. So Buddy, in my opinion, did exactly the right thing, but I did ask a pretty good question,
Yeah, well, I think it is a good question, and I would say technically, legally, in my mind, until the report card day came out January the 6th for all students, you could have played them.
Okay.
But if you got Carl Buckner as your principal,
yeah,
and
we did,
that he would say to you, if
yeah,
they can't play.
Well,
that would be an academic ruling on his part.
Well, we didn't have to go that far. Buddy knew it. And he was head coach, and that took care of that. I thought he did the right thing. And he certainly did one thing. He eliminated all doubt.
Sure.
Okay. And
well, I guess we're talking about, do we know coaches that would look the other way? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Do we know principals that would look the other way?
Yes.
Until the day came out. And by the way, when the day came out, more than a few teachers may have changed their mind about that grade being what it was after discussion with said coach and said principal and said, his daddy is the mayor.
Yeah, I don't know that we had that I remember. I know we had a player or two that aged out by Christmas, celebrated their 19th birthday, and then that was it. They couldn't play anymore after that. We had a player, very well-known player, that was not, and went on and played college ball, which was okay. That was fine. But he did not take enough credits. You got to take 5, and he took 4. And was that a mistake? Yes, of course it was. But somehow it slipped through the cracks. But we knew it, and we found out about it, and he was ineligible. Second half. Boy, we hated to lose him, too.
There's NCAA rule that says you can't play after your 19th birthday.
Right.
Anybody ever fudged on a birth certificate?
Well, no, I can't say the answer to that one, but Jeff Jordan did not.
No, I'm just saying.
I understand.
Yeah, sure it has. And that's, we're talking about a parent or a player. The coach didn't know it. The coach finds out. Does he do the right thing?
Yeah.
I was faced with a situation at Laverne when I was there. We went to a Christmas tournament, and some activity took place on the trip that should not have. Just leave it at that.
Oh, been there.
And I had to weigh against Carl Buckner was my principal at the time, and I talked to him about it. He said, you do what you think you need to do. He said, I'll back you up 1,000%. Whatever you do, you don't need to do it because I told you to. But I think you know the right thing that you need to do. Something. You make the decision. We went to Mount Juliet with 5 players suited up. And the other 7...
That's not enough, Tim.
the other 7 were in street clothes on the bench watching said team take an absolute drubbing, which technically I didn't have to do. But to me, it was the only thing I could do, the right thing to do. And I hope the players learn something from it. That was at least the point, that nobody is above the law or above the rules. And we've got some integrity. But even Tim and Jeff have probably squeezed a little bit of extra truth out of subjects I have that maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. Did she really play that hard last game, or did she? She's my best player.
Yeah.
I need her on the floor.
Yeah.
Is she giving her all? Yeah, she is. She's even though in your heart of hearts you're thinking, no, she probably doesn't need to be out there. I've done that. I suspect most of us have. We do like to win, after all.
I remember when I went to Walter Hill, and I asked. I had the team, which was really very good. John Dinkins had done a great job. I didn't have to do much of anything. But I didn't know the players. I didn't know the birth date or whatever. But I asked Gerald King. I said, Gerald, I said, how old are you? He was 8th grade. I said,
Didn't you have a Swader on that team as well?
Do what?
Didn't you have a Swader on that team as well?
Yeah, Ricky Swader.
That's what I thought. You did have a good team.
I did, yeah, I did. But I asked Gerald how old he was. And he just kind of, I guess he wasn't expecting that question. He turned around and looked at me, and Drew Pate, a buddy's son, the late Drew Pate, he spoke up and he said, Coach Jordan, I'm older than Gerald. And I said, well, are you eligible to play? And he said, well, yes, sir. I'm such and such a date. I went and looked it up, and it was exactly right. He was exactly right.
If you ask the player that question and he says, how old am I supposed to be?
Yeah.
he may have a problem.
Oh, baby, we've had some players, and I guess all counties get them. Rutherford County, maybe it's a little better because we've got so many people, and these coaches, wonderful people, and principals also. But they'll tell on each other if they want to. So you got to be careful. You better not do that. You better just be like you're supposed to be.
NCAA could not foresee, or did not look far enough, or did enough due diligence to figure out what they need to do. There's just too many portals, NILs were set up with no boundaries to speak of, and now you go back and try to put guardrails in after the fact. It's almost impossible to do.
I read an article just a month or so ago, and I can't remember where it was. It may have been in USA Today. I don't remember. But it was, and you've probably heard this too, just do away with all of it. Just forget about it. They graduate from high school or whatever they're doing, and just let them play as long as they want to play. And I thought, well, that would certainly...
In other words, like church league softball.
Exactly.
If you want to put St. Mark's Methodist Church on the jersey, go find your best 14 players, put the name on it. It doesn't make any difference where they go to church.
That's correct.
Just go. Alabama, they don't have to go to class. Just sign up the best 95 players you can find and pay them what you can pay them, right?
Right.
That's kind of where we are.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not very far from that. That's correct.
I think we're going to have to call it the way it is. They're going to be professional athletes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or maybe still are already. Well, Jeff, that's going to wrap it up. We didn't solve a thing. We just jumbled the water a little bit more, but that's okay.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Who is going to win the Super Bowl? Who's playing? Seattle.
I think Seattle will win it.
In New England, I'd say Seattle would be my pick as well, but I think there's more discussion right now about the daggone Super Bowl halftime show than there is about the game itself, which is kind of sad.
It is kind of sad, and it's. I think I think we just need to play a football game, and let's not worry about anything else.
Some people will be like me and watch the game and don't worry about halftime. Some people watch halftime and won't worry about the game, and that be that as it may. Jeff, I don't think I've seen a halftime show in 20 years. I won't see one in 21st year either.
My wife and I were discussing this today at lunch, and I said, I've seen every Super Bowl, I guess, just about every one, all the way back. Yes, folks, I'm that old. And I said, I cannot tell you more than 3 or 4 people that I remember hosting the halftime. I said, and it was always a big deal.
Well, at my house or someplace around with my friends, halftime comes, it's time to go eat.
Yeah.
It's not watch show. Let's take a break. We out of here. High school basketball is up right after Chip Walters, Blue Raider Inside Report, then high school basketball. All Sports Talk tomorrow.
Message provided by the Rutherford Opioid Board.
What's the location of your emergency?
I think my kid OD'd.
Hi, I'm Craig Harris. I'm County Commissioner of Rutherford County. One of the reasons I ran for office is because I wanted to bring awareness to the opioid epidemic that's impacting our county. To stop providing this epidemic with people as we educate.
946 overdose calls countywide in 2023.
We have a lot to do, and we have to come together as a community because this problem's not going away.
At State Farm, when home and auto work as a team, you score and save money. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let's work together to win big by saving money on home and auto. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think our car insurance costs more. I'm State Farm agent Andy Wama. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me show you with discounts up to 40%. You may find it even costs less.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They walk you through it. It's been my experience. What I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Parks Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Sold it to you, 27.5.
Next on All Sports Talk, it's the Blue Raider Insider Report with Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Let's start out with Blue Raider Track and Field. The MTSU Track and Field team had a strong outing at the PNC Lenny Lyles Invitational hosted by the University of Louisville over the weekend. The Blue Raiders found themselves on the podium at the Invitational. Abraham Valenzuela, Wael Barali, Ross Evans, and Solomon Sayo combined for a second-place finish in the men's DMR. Privileged Shakara placed first in the women's 800-meter and second in the women's mile. Chidinma Agu finished second in both the women's 200-meter and 400-meter. Mustafa Bopkin topped the field in the men's 60-meter. Joel Ekolum finished second in the men's triple jump, and Faith Niathi and Odilia Jepchumba placed first and second in the women's 500 meters. Four of Middle Tennessee's podium finishers recorded a personal record in their respective events. Chikara, Bopkin, Ekolum, and each bested their respective events for the second time this indoor season. Shakara's mark of 442.90 is the second best time in Conference USA this year. Over the entire weekend, Middle Tennessee had 14 top 5 finishes and set 2 new personal bests. The Blue Raiders will host the Dean Hayes Classic this Friday, February 7th at the Murphy Center. The meet will be broadcast on ESPN Plus from 1:30 until 4:30, and there is room for spectators if you'd like to go by on the track level of Murphy Center this Friday from 1:30 to 4:30. Speaking of track, after a successful weekend in Louisville, Mustafa Bopkin was named the Conference USA Men's Co-Track Athlete of the Week. That was announced by the league office on February 3rd. Bachman continues to impress for Middle Tennessee Track and Field. Over the weekend, he finished with the fastest time in the 60 meters with a mark of 6.59 seconds. This race marked a personal best for the sophomore sprinter. Bachman now holds the fastest 60-meter time in Conference USA and is tied for the 11th fastest 60-meter time in all of Division I. Speaking of awards, after a dominant performance over the weekend, Blue Raider freshman Blair Bogus has been named the Conference USA Freshman of the Week for a 7th time. She is just a couple short of the all-time record, and that can be found, hopefully she'll be finding that here in the second half of the Conference USA season. Looking ahead at what's coming up this week in athletics, it all starts with men's basketball on Wednesday night in Murphy Center. That's tomorrow night. Blue Raiders trying to snap a 3-game losing streak as they host the FIU Panthers. Blue Raiders coming off a 5-point home loss to Western Kentucky. The Lady Raiders will be on the road as they'll be playing at Missouri State on Thursday. And this is one of the weirdest road trips in the conference. They will play at Missouri State on Thursday, then will go down to FIU to play on Saturday. Men's tennis is back in action in Blacksburg, Virginia, as they will take on Virginia Tech. That'll be at 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. Softball is playing this weekend in Troy, Alabama. They'll take on North Alabama on Friday at 9 a.m., and then they will face Troy at 2:30. That in their season opening matchups coming up. And rounding out, of course, the weekend, track and field back in action on Friday. Blue Raider basketball on the road this weekend. They'll be traveling to Delaware for the first time. That's it for today, folks. We'll have another update for you coming up tomorrow right here on the Big G.
This has been All Sports Talk on WGNS and Big G TV. where we hit every level of the game, from the preps to MTSU, across Tennessee and the nation. Thanks for tuning in to All Sports Talk from the Good Neighbor Network.
Next, another special News Radio WGNS broadcast.